Hey everyone, hope you guys are enjoying Monster Hunter in whichever fashion you're choosing to play it as. And today I wanted to have a little bit of a discussion topic, and I certainly want to hear your guys' feedback on this regarding what we can expect when it comes to the next mainline Monster Hunter game, Monster Hunter 6, World 2, Paradise, Rise 2, whatever, when it comes to actually making an appearance at the Game Awards. There has been something that a lot of people have been hoping for since we essentially ended up passing through Tokyo Game Show back in September and nothing ended up being revealed. Of course, we got the confirmation of the 20th anniversary happening, and of course Capcom confirming that more news are going to be shared regarding the entire celebration of the Capcom franchise throughout 2024, but it didn't necessarily give us what we were hoping for, which at the very least, some people were just hoping for at the very least a logo, and pretty much, that's it. Just a confirmation that yes, indeed, they are working on another game, which of course they are, but they're just not willing to talk about it just yet. We've gotten a lot of hints, a lot of teases, even some, people suggesting that, of course, which consoles it's even going to come to. I've made separate videos on that already, link in the description below if you're not necessarily sure what it is that I'm referencing to. But I do want to talk about what we can actually expect, not just necessarily for Monster Hunter 6, but even Monster Hunter as a whole, since Monster Hunter now, some next major expansion, next major update is going to be happening in December. And of course, we're still a couple of, a little bit, some time away, let's put it that way, from that actually happening. And that game right now is getting a lot of negative feedback from a lot of players who are just not necessarily happy the way things are actually going. I've made several data mines video, a lot of leaks videos covering some of the information regarding the 60 new monsters, the 4 new weapons, some new biomes that are making their way into it, the Halloween and the December events as well. All of that information is getting out there, but a lot of players are still not necessarily happy with what's happening, and they're hoping that the December update is going to target some of those issues there. And we're hoping that at the very least they have some sort of major trailer reveal. If it happens at the Game Awards, be it, because it gets more people's eyes on it, so that's better for them. But we're hoping that at the very least Capcom has something to show regarding that game. Now, transitioning over to what I think everyone wants to talk about is, of course, basically Capcom finally confirming that yes, indeed, Monster Hunter Generation 6 is making its way to presumably PlayStation consoles, Xbox, and PC. And obviously we are talking about also the Switch 2 rumors regarding that as well. They're not going to reveal it if Nintendo's not revealing the Switch 2, and they're not going to do it around Christmas. They're going to wait until next year. So of course, most likely a lot of people are going to be saying that it's not going to be coming to Switch 2 right out of the gate. But of course, we expect it to, based on some of those previous rumors that I've already iterated to in previous videos. So I think a lot of people are going to be either very disappointed if actually Capcom decides to just kind of wait and hold toe and not necessarily reveal anything at the Game Awards, specifically when it comes to 6. Again, I expect them to talk about now, to the very least, even when those commercial breaks that they do, pseudo commercial breaks, throw it to a Monster Hunter Now trailer showcasing a couple of the new monsters we've already talked about before, and that could be their major thing. They don't necessarily have to make a big spot on it. Keeley has been doing a lot of more promotion for mobile games in these type of events, which a lot of people just kind of tune out because a lot of people don't play mobile games, and it is what it is. I don't want to focus on actual game reveals, not even the actual awards themselves. A lot of this stuff is rigged already. A lot of people know that they're just choosing and picking whichever developers are willing to promote them even more and talk about their games more and reveal their next major game at one of his events. So a lot of people kind of already know that. They know there's a built-in kind of you do me a favor, I do you a favor, I raise your profile, it is what it is type of thing. But getting an actual major reveal for a Monster Hunter game at the very least would go a long way. Now, there is a track record here of Capcom showing things at the Game Awards. They've done it before. I believe World and Iceborne had both separate trailers back in the respective around time before launch, and certainly while updates were happening. Rise certainly had, I believe, the Ice Frozen Isles update trailer, one of those heading into the launch of the game the following March. We ended up getting one of those at the Game Awards. I don't remember if Sunbreak had a trailer as well, but I'm sure it did as well. So at the end of the day, there's a massive track record at the Game Awards for Capcom doing something, because they know there's eyes there. This is why I talked about earlier with Monster Hunter Now. They want attention on that game, so it makes sense. But them willing to take the chance with 6, At the same time, it's going to be more interesting, especially since this would be one of the major reveals there. Usually these whole Keeley type of events that he's putting out, like 4 of them a year at this point, a lot of them are snooze fest. They have like 1 or 2 major actually important things and nothing really of substance. Most of the games you already forgot about 5 minutes after they were revealed, because they all look the same and they're all mostly for PC. A lot of people just tune the hell out. They don't necessarily care, and they're waiting for that big console thing to actually happen, which usually never does, or it's just basically at the back end of the thing, as you basically waited through the slog of nonsense that no one really cares about. So it is one of those things where I think it would be a high profile reveal, so that would be important for him and the actual Game Awards, but I think it'd also be important to see with Capcom. Now, my pushback to this, and I do want to play devil's advocate a little bit, and this is something that I've talked about before in other videos, is, well, what are their plans for release? Based, and I'll reiterate this once again, based on what we know currently, this is just what we know as of right now, as of like October or so, or back end of July, hanging to August and October, September, October, throughout this time period. What we do know is that Capcom's fiscals report, their first quarter, told us that they have major games planned, one major game planned specifically before the end of fiscal 2024. That would be March of next year. That game, they're expecting it to have massive sales. It is not Dragon's Dogma 2. Dragon's Dogma is going to be launching in the fall or in the summer of next year. So we're talking about a game launching before April of 2024. Obviously, a lot of people originally thought that was going to be Monster Hunter. Of course, it made sense, especially if they revealed it at Tokyo Game Show, but they didn't. And we know that Capcom loves to announce their games at the very least in a 9 to 10 to 11 month period before it actually launches. If they're to reveal this game at the Game Awards, December 7th, as you should have seen already on the screen, as when they basically confirmed this is going to be happening on December 7th, and this game is set to launch somewhere around late March to early April, which, especially if they want to fit it into their fiscal report for 2023 heading into 24, then it should launch before March 30th. I don't see how they're going to do that. This will go completely against what they're used to doing. They love to reveal a game and tease it and tease it and tease it again, you know, and showcase more little teasers and trailers. I mean, you guys know, again, they did this with World, they did it with Iceborne, they did it with Rise, they did it with Sunbreak. They reveal one area, they reveal one monster at a time, they do things slowly, they take their time, they don't power through it, they just, you know, let it cook, right? It's one of those things, and they eventually get to the action, like get ultimate hype as much as possible before the game releases. They get all of these type of channels like mine and others who are of course going to be talking about this once they officially reveal it. Everyone's going to be talking about it, and then they want to continue that drumbeat. Every couple of months they drop a new trailer, a new teaser, the websites get updated, more information just trickles out. That's all they're aiming for. That's what these companies are all about, and they wouldn't have much time to do that if they reveal it in December and drop it in March or April. That's just unrealistic and uncharacteristic of Capcom to do. Now, of course, they could be chasing, you know, a different trend now. That's something completely, you know, something that we can't necessarily predict as of right now. But it would be interesting for them to try to do that at the end of the day. Now, of course, their plans can change, and they could decide to drop it in fall. They could decide to drop it in, you know, in the summer. They could end up doing whatever it is that they want, especially since, you know, in the summer, you don't have a lot of games competing with themselves, so they could end up doing that. But that's certainly my pushback, and my main and only pushback as of right now, for them to reveal anything at the Game Awards. If they don't do it at the Game Awards, then let's try the pessimistic scenario. If they don't reveal anything at the Game Awards, well, when the hell would they actually do it? And then basically that just means the entirety of 2024, the schedule is available. They can do it whenever it is that they want, especially if they're going to push it back. Maybe, let's say, COVID delay the game or something along those lines. Something that we have seen happen to basically every other game that has released since basically 2021. Almost every other game has been delayed one way or another. Nintendo had that, Sony has had that, Microsoft certainly has had that, with so many games being delayed, and every other major publisher as well. Square Enix, Capcom themselves has had multiple delays. Exo Primal got delayed. I believe that Resident Evil 4 remake got delayed. That game with the little girl and like space is getting delayed until like 2024 or 2025. So I mean, all of these games, you know, are just going through that. So maybe Monster Hunter is no different. And at the end of the day, they are just gonna, you know, pushing it back to maybe late 2024, so they have all of 2024 to basically just tease the hell out of it and make it a Christmas experience, a holiday experience. You know, November of 2024 they release it and they reveal it in January or something like that. You know, they could do whatever they want. But it's gonna be interesting to see. I hope people are not necessarily too invested, or at the very least certain that they're gonna do something at the Game Awards. At the very least, right now, I wouldn't bank on it, only because of, like I mentioned, my devil's advocate take on that. But it would be interesting to see if they do reveal it, just what their plans are going to be heading into 2024, especially with the 20th anniversary. Certainly, they're going to try to tie everything up together. You know, everything's led up to this moment type of thing. You know, like, I believe, I want to say Persona did this. Atlas did it with Persona recently, where they announced a bunch of things. Like the Persona franchise in general has had like a bunch of things happening, like in the beginning of the year, late last year, late in the beginning of this year, and then throughout the back end of this year, they culminated it all with a bunch of reveals of a bunch of brand new Persona games. So, you know, Capcom wouldn't surprise me if they end up doing something similar, but I'm not necessarily so certain right now at this point in time that the Game Awards would be that place. But again, I'm going to be tuning in, watching, and certainly if more information comes out, or at the very least leaks and rumors at the very least suggest that Capcom might have something here, we'll certainly be talking about it. But that's all I wanted to say today. I certainly want to hear your guys' feedback on this. What do you think? Do you expect them to reveal it at the Game Awards or not? And if they do, what do you want to see? But if you're brand new to my channel, though, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. Hit the bell to receive notifications when the videos go up. And as always, thank you so much for watching. See ya.